using
Stingray.
parallax, using straight lines, measuring these supposed arc minutes and arc seconds, and counting pixels, and it's
Well, I
all
said,
accurate.
the ISS we can actually get a reasonably decent photo of, but you won't accept that, so I can't use it.
The ISS
So I used the
is
satellite
way
that
bigger.
was
It's only
further away.
250 miles away, and your images
Yeah, which
are
is also
fucking
the
dog
size of a
shit.
football field.
That's insanity, bro.
Okay,
Like,
you look at
Don't
a
worry.
football field from 250 miles away, it's not going to be that small.
it's
When you're up,
it's visible. It's visible, but you need to be during night.
How
You need
about
to
with a
look at it.
telescope, boys?
Without
Why don't your telescopes
No.
work all of a
how
sudden?
come your
They
They don't
telescope
work
only
all of a
picks up
sudden?
like 30
So they
times?
can't see
100
250
times, I
miles,
don't
but they
think
can
you
see
can
hundreds
see
of
a
millions of
photo.
miles, right?
Do the math
Which
on
one
that,
works?
and
No.
then
Okay,
look
listen. I
magnifying
feel like I feel
100
myself like I'm in
times.
a pub. Everyone is
It's
speaking
really
over each other.
sad.
Yeah, we need a fucking moderator. Chemo.
Moderator,
Step
Timo,
in.
please.
Oh, they're
Fuck's
getting
sake.
mad now. We're getting them, D-Mock.
No,
They
you
can't
just
produce
need to
anything.
fucking learn some fucking etiquette to speaking.
Listen, if this was a
You
pub,
ask a
we'll be
stupid
fucking flat
question
earthers left and
and you
right.
expect a fucking answer,
I
and then
still
while
don't see
answers
the ink
are
pen
being given,
proof.
you get this shit.
People, you haven't shown
And
plumbing
there's
on
no
your globe
answers
yet.
being given from
I
you.
Yes,
provided a
yes.
picture of the
Working out
outhouse
the
Earth.
size of a football field at 250 miles.
Exactly.
So I
You
have a
don't get it.
question. I have a question. Is it possible, like to a certain degree, some people with a certain level of intelligence, they can't comprehend proof or evidence? Or is it like the idea that people
What proof?
sometimes reject evidence because they don't see an evidence? Maybe they actually can't really comprehend what evidence is in the first place.
Oh, you mean that Stanley Kubrick Apollo moon landing footage y'all have?
No, what I'm saying is that there's a story a long time ago about a tribe in Amazons, wherever, when they went
You want
outside
us
of
to
their
believe
comfort
that
zone.
Star
There you go
Wars
again.
I'm
You
sure.
bullshit?
Please,
fucking
mod listen.
child. He's talking
So,
and you speak through him. Hold on a minute, nice guy. Do you have no self-control, good white light?
What is he talking about?
Do you have
Amazon? He's
no
talking about
self-control?
Right? Calm
It's a
down and
simple
behave
question.
yourself, or you will not be heard.
okay,
He's
what I'm
talking rubbish.
Nice guy,
Yeah.
nice guy. You're gonna have to finish with, okay, I'm done. And then he's gonna be able to know for that fucking
Talking about the Amazon.
audible clue
Nice
that
guy.
he's now
Make
able to
telescopes
speak.
in the Amazon?
Make your
I didn't
fucking
know that.
point and make it quick, nice guy. Don't ramble.
Okay, listen, okay. At least my ramble is not as bad as their rambles. What I'm saying is there was a tribe in the Amazons, okay? They went outside of their tribe, outside of their space of comfort zone and stuff, and they have seen what they call them buffaloes. What's so funny about that thing, it was there was a traveling explorer who went with them and they went outside. They've seen the buffaloes so far away in a distance. They thought the buffaloes on the like far away in the land was like type of fly, and the tribes they tried to capture the buffaloes, but they were like miles away, but they saw the buffalo as a small fly.
That
This
was
is how dumb fuck people can get.
Monologuing, man.
nice guy should be talked
Monologuing.
over.
Okay.
White light.
I'm just
absolutely
saying,
doing
you
the
know,
correct
some
thing.
evidence, some proof,
Talking
some
over
people may
nice
not
guy
comprehend it.
is the correct
You're
move at this
monologuing.
point.
No.
This is
We
babble.
need balance. We need
What
balance.
the fuck is he
Yeah.
babbling about?
He's talking about the nature of evidence, basically. What people will accept as evidence and what they will
Listen
reject.
to Lemon Bird. Lemon Bird knows babble. Go ahead, break it down. Break down the babble, Lemon.
He was talking about the nature of what evidence is acceptable and not acceptable. To have evidence for a person that counts as proof, you need to know how their mind consistently works. That way you know the puzzle pieces that will lock into their mind for evidence and proof. You have to get to know them and see how their mind works.
How many buffalo have telescopes?
Basically, for them, they didn't have a context of buffalo because for them it was inconsistent for anything like that to appear above the ground unless it was a fly or something that was appearing in the air. That's the context they were working with.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. The idea is actually this thing happened, by the way. The idea is some people can't comprehend new things and things out of their intuitive world, but it appears that the buffalo was a fly because they hadn't had the experience or the knowledge for a buffalo in its place. They didn't. The buffalo exist. To their own frame, they see the buffalo as a small, tiny fly, and they try to capture to eat it. And this is an example for flippers when they can't really comprehend science.
Well, the thing is, just give people the tools so that they can eventually comprehend it. You bring them up close to that buffalo slowly so that they can see it up here due to perspective and get bigger and bigger and bigger. As they walk up to that buffalo, they start making artifacts in their mind to comprehend this idea in a new way. So you just take baby steps, even with the person who can't comprehend science, who can't comprehend the buffalo, whatever, so that their mind can work in a new, consistent way.
They take babies, they take five-year-olds, and then they show them a globe, and then they indoctrinate them all the way through school, and it keeps getting more and more advanced. And then by the time you get out of school, you have to get a job, and then you don't have time to think about these things. But it's just it's been rooted in you, right?
Automatic.
Do you have any rhetoric that's fresher than 2015?
It's indoctrination rather than anything that relates to reality. When you walk up to that buffalo, it's not a fly. When you walk up to the globe, it doesn't exist.
Okay, Lemon.
All we're trying to say is we just want some tangible proof.
So the angular size of a football field at some 250 miles is 0.013 degrees. So below your angular
then tell me how can you figure out the parallax of a star 100 light years away, if that even exists?
Because of
parallax.
I don't do parallax. I'm not in a struggle. Want to talk to me about?
Yeah, but this is how we actually calculate it. Hold on. This is how we calculate it.
I've no
the distance.
How is it relevant? White light. How is the question relevant?
It has everything to do with what we're talking about.
I taught myself how to work out angular size of an object, so I can go back and work out how to do parallax. It didn't take me too long.
He's saying astronomical observations are baseless.
Right. How is it relevant?
I've no idea.
You're not dealing with
the
angular size.
At the end of the day, we're all wanting proof, right? We all want proof. You guys make these audacious claims
to connect
with no proof
with angular size.
So can we just deal with the proof thing? We have objects in space. We have photographs from space. We have telemetry. We have GPS,
okay, when I asked you for an object
that go via satellite, we have observations from Earth. We have the basic physics that we understand. We have the utility that we apply to it. And we have over 2,500 years of knowledge that we've built on showing the Earth to be a sphere.
Who's we?
Why
do you say
humanity?
2,500 years
in general.
Human race.
Hey, the human race wasn't always globe earthers.
The human race now
There's a lot of
is we.
That wrote.
Okay, the human race now is we. When
it's just
Druss said we means you have access to this knowledge too. The fact you don't look at it is why you spew your rhetoric fucking garbage. You don't seem to understand how something 250 miles away is different from something like 12,000 miles away. You have no fucking grasp on optics, and you come here to spew your shit and hope that it makes sense to other people. It doesn't. You just show how much you don't understand and have the audacity to act like you fucking know better.
I can see a jumbo jet. Hey, hold on. Don't get mad or anything, but I can see a jumbo jet about 5 miles away.
What he just projected onto you.
With the naked eye.
How big's the wingspan of a jumbo jet?
It's big.
Optical geometry is baseless because parallel lines.
7 jumbo jets.
Parallel lines appear to converge due to perspective. That makes optical geometry and the angles derived from looking at an object baseless, because eventually you're going to reach angular resolution and your angles are going to get increasingly inaccurate.
Angular resolution?
By the way, I nearly screwed
then how do they
on that
get parallax?
Because I almost forgot to make all my units into the same unit because I was dealing with miles and yards.
Then how are they figuring out parallax with all these optical illusions?
Can you guys hear me good one?
Explore it and we could learn something.
Good one.
They're figuring it out with theoretical assumptions.
Search parallax.
Do you think they have a method that they describe of how they do it? If you've researched it.
Yeah, it's a bullshit.
He's asking you to think about it, though. He's asking you not how it's done, but to think about how consistent this is. So do you think it's consistent?
We know with astronomy that they're continually revising distances, so we know we've got some tweaking to do on that. But I think, generically, it's certainly it's about error bars, though, isn't it? Good white light.
There should be 0 errors, okay?
Well, in that case, then never take a measurement ever again in your life, ever, because every measurement you will ever take will always have an error bar.
No, not if you use a tape measure.
Control our desire to show how much we know already or can learn quickly, and try to find out what is the relevance of this parallax question.
White light, which measurement will have no error bar?
How does it apply?
I would say the stupidity
to be missing something. Maybe it's flat and it's just angular resolution and perspective.
No maybe. I don't want maybes. I want white light, the guy who can't shut up when other people are talking, to answer this simple question.
What? What simple question? Ask me.
The question.
Ask me. I didn't hear you. Yeah, there was 3 questions thrown at me.
Just answer the question.
Which one?
How many fucking times? If you've never heard the question already, why would one more time help you?
You don't need to know the question. Just answer the question. Just answer the question, even if you don't know what the question is.
He knows the question.
Which measurement has
I ain't shit. If you didn't hear it once, you better answer this question.
Once?
Why are you shouting, dude?
I've asked them at least 5 times.
And this is what we're dealing with. 10-year-olds.
We're dealing with absurdity
again.
No, they're claiming that, I'm being, whatever, pedantic, all these little fancy terms.
You know the question that I asked. You better answer my question.
Cock blocker.
Okay, hold on. Let me
I'm being a cock blocker. That's hilarious.
Work at angle where he gets like a hand job from you, I think.
My question is so important, I won't even bother reiterating it or repeating it for clarity.
Right. Exactly.
Go fuck yourself, Lemon. I asked him 5 times already.
He did not ask me 5 times.
Yes, I did.
I actually asked you even more than 5 times. He's being generous with you.
Yeah, 5 is being conservative. I could ask 100 times and you'd still ignore it. Because you don't have an answer.
Not ignoring anything.
You are.
Ask me.
And you're lying right now, too.
Curve, why don't you ask me the question?
Why do you blame everybody for lying?
What?
You lie about your life right now. You think you're okay, right? Don't ignore me, because you know it's true.
Alright, so this is going well off the path. You said some stupid things. You then asked some stupid questions. You were given reaction to, equal measurement of those stupid things you did and said. Now, you don't seem to grasp scale, do you? Be honest.
What scale? What kind of scale? Linear scale? Scalar? Vector scale? What?
Linear scale, scalar scale. What?
It's so big. It's just so big. It's just so big, so massive.
Right. So
it's
not about massive. It's about a far distance. Massive could imply a big object. This is a far away thing that's quite big up close.
Remember the Rick and Morty with the Santa in space?
I haven't seen it.
Just me, I guess.
I know Rick and Morty. I haven't seen that episode though.
It's the one where they have the fun fair in the guy's intestines. Then you remember the Pirates of the Pancreas? Everybody loved that.
Sounds like Lemmy Winks from South Park, where the gerbil got stuck up Mr. Slave's butt, had to find its way out. Lemmy Winks. Made it look like a journey or an adventure through his intestines with the little gerbil. Lemmy Winks.
I would say Mr. Garrett did make an awesome Trump.
Lemmy Winks.
the episode with the car problems and the internal battery, which was a universe.
You know all this is going to get resolved, right, in 2024?
2024, 4 more years.
Yeah, baby.
You know they just launched a rocket today, right, with more satellites on it? You know that, right?
Do you want to make a bet that they're going to push it another 4 years?
I betcha.
Okay, it's going to be 2028. That's the date. That's when it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Help me, Davros. You're a Christian heretic. You've already watered down scripture for the New Age heresy. How do I believe in this heliocentric religion? How?
Well, first thing you need to do is you need to read the Bible.
Davros isn't here, by the way.
I know, but that's kind of what Davros would have said, along with a few more swear words.
Yeah, but I'm just letting women know before it continues. Davros is only in this text chat.
Anyway, because I'm not going to believe their horse shit that they give us.
Well, there was a whole lot of students. There was a whole lot of students in Northampton.
The only way I'm going to believe it is if they detonate an atomic bomb up there. No, a hydrogen bomb. Sorry.
You know the mission to the moon again is not just based on standing on the moon for the 7th time, right?
Yeah, well, they're going to establish a base so they can launch.
Right. So instead of just doing, EVA, they're actually going to create a lot more for the future missions.
Are we going to be able to see it?
So the idea that it might take longer to create something substantial versus just putting a man on the moon again,
are we going to be able to
kind of leads to the fact that it would cost a little bit more time and money.
Of course not.
You don't seem to factor in the fact that not one.
No, but what I'm saying is
not one flat earther in existence is a scientist.
Or take a gigantic mirror.
Let that sink in for a second, you smart man. No scientist ever in the flat earth community. Ever. No science for a flat earth. Ever. Borrowed science from the globe only.
Some sort of
I know this is hard for you because we're tapping on the wall of a cognitive dissonance. We're trying to break through. But you think you're on the side that has all the answers because you think with your lack of CGI understanding everything is fake. You think because you need to, because one picture from space from one satellite and it's game over for you. That's why you have to take every single thing you can to do with space because it's the end game for flat Earth. End of.
Or he posted a tweet saying that the Coriolis effect was proof that a field goal was actually made.
There you go. Jump into another topic because you just got wrecked on another one. You ain't shit.
And it was because of that.
Go up another claim.
You ain't even shit, dude.
Well, the Coriolis implies that the air should be spinning freely of the Earth.
Yeah. At the height of a field goal, where atmospheric pressure is pretty much uniform to the stands where people breathe. Real cool.
Yeah,
real cool. Real great example that you're using.
Lemon, you're smarter than that. Come on. At least bring up a good objection. Not a
Coriolis effects that we see are probably due to the spin of the ether over the unmoving Earth.
Go, Zanuck. I choose you.
Win.
No, I do not volunteer.
Fucking morons. How about the fucking win?
Moron. You have no clue what you're talking about. At all. At all. Zero understanding.
He's posting something about space. Okay, my beliefs are going to be held intact and not questioned by these flat earthers.
You can't even explain a sunset to me. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Perspective is the sunset. It's just the top and bottom half of your vision merging into a line.
If you're drunk.
You've been saying that for years, and it's not even close to being.
No, I didn't think so.
Demonstratable.
Coming up 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm just sick of it, Chemo. If you want to know, there was no moderation here, and the shit place. This turned into just a shit show before, And then you come in and mute Nice Guy, who was one of the most controlled and peaceful one out of all of it. So shut up.
Yeah, so Chemo muted me for not over-talking somebody, and muted Nice Guy, and actually didn't bother to say anything to anybody to try and create some peace, karma, and dialogue in the room. And I kind of thought that's what the voice mods were there to do, not just arbitrarily mute people when they feel it, and then give no instruction or reason why they do it. To me, it's a pointless objective.
Well, the thing is, we need interfaith dialogue. We need the heliocentric, materialistic atheist to talk with, the theist, flatties that believe in some sort of creation.
Well, one, you've got a problem there because most people who are theists do not believe in a flat Earth.
Why are you generalizing people? What do you mean most?
Well, that is correct. Most of them have been educated in Jesuit schools. That is true. But the thing is, the belief is not biblical. Backed by the Bible. That is science.
Show me a flat
Bible.
Big man.
Go
on.
Show me proof.
You're coming in betting 1,000 already. Show me the flat Earth.
So when they're saying that, they're saying they believe science, at least when it comes to the creation account, but not the Bible. That's something else.
This guy just said most theists are in the Bible.
Sorry, go on.
Let's see your proof.
Yeah, where is
you can't post proof now?
So no. I was trying to wait for you to finish because I started talking when you did, because there's a little bit of lag between us. And then I apologise for over talking you because I'm normally quite polite to people when they're reasonable. And then I wanted you to carry on. So sorry, you were asking for something.
I was asking for some proof of your claim.
Of the majority of people.
No, you said most. Now it's not a majority, because a majority would just be over 50%.
You said most is the majority.
9 out of 10 or 8 out of 10.
Most is just a quicker word than majority.
Most people decided that they like Coca-Cola better than Pepsi. Most people like Coke.
Exactly.
An overwhelming amount of people.
Yeah, exactly.
The Earth is round. And like was said by, I think Deborah or somebody before, what about the flat Earth scientists? Can you name one scientist that is a flat Earther? One.
The sheeple. But yeah, I get you.
You can name scientists that are geocentrists, but they're not flat. The closest you're going to get when people go on record is, it's at least geocentric, but flat Earth is still quite high.
The question
geocentric, still a globe.
Is there one flat Earth scientist? Is there one scientist?
There can't be any flat Earth scientists,
but I can
they wouldn't be given a career.
Just one.
I mean, the thing is, some people out of the scientific establishment saying if they had criticism of Darwinism.
There's no way they're going to open their crap.
How about one person?
That's why they don't do it.
Listen, one person has taken a high school physics course, believe that the Earth is flat. Just one. Just one.
People have survival instincts. And they're going to use
nobody.
Them. They're not going to open their mouth about Earth.
This is the justification, Zanuck, that you're listening to. This is the cognitive dissonance, the realization that, wait a minute, it makes no sense that there isn't any science, but I have to say that it's because they're afraid. If there was flat Earth science, it would be all over the place, and the people would have their own universities of flat Earth science. It would be
begging the question. The thing is, that's justified because you look at the way that they drum out of the perfection people that criticize Darwinism.
Logical deduction.
Allegations of Darwinian theory are drummed out of universities with the Darwinian Inquisition. You don't think something similar would happen with a theist-based, creation-based, or whatever flat Earth conception with these materialistic atheists? Just dump them out of academe. Based off of their track.
What about all the seminaries? Wait 1 second. What about all the seminaries in the US that also teach more than just theology? So they teach physics, they teach math, they teach
Masonic control.
Why are you invoking those? Those are guided by Christian
Masonic control. Their god is Lucifer.
There are scientists that do not believe in Darwinism. That's a valid discussion and scientific debate. Valid. There's truly scientists that are well educated that do not believe in evolution.
Talking about from Georgetown and Loyola and all those Catholic.
So you agree with me? So that there is a science behind not believing in Darwinism and
With
evolution.
policies show that the Jesuits are crypto Satanists.
Hold on.
Satanists acting like they believe in God, but